4K camera, and it just couldn't get a signal over to the PC. It was just ridiculous.
Clearly, it's because we had the SD card in it.
I think so.
No, I have no idea.
I have no idea what it was.
We just kept
But it
getting
was
the
awful.
Well, did you have enough bandwidth?
It had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with bandwidth or anything like
yeah,
that.
because we weren't wirelessly broadcasting from the camera to the computer. It's
We
it's on
could
the
have,
table.
because the camera is Wi-Fi enabled.
Yeah, but that would have been worse.
Yeah. I haven't tried the Wi-Fi yet. So we're doing the game, and we have the camera set up, and everything looks great on the camera. But then you look on the PC, and all you get is those, like when like when an old TV station would go off the air, you had those colored bars.
Yep.
That's what we got. I'm like,
now I'm trying to remember because there's a name for them. Now I'm going to be thinking about that. Great.
What's that?
There's a name for those colored bars.
Is there really?
There is, yeah. But now I can't think of it.
Colored bars.
Colored bars. Oh, look it up. See if it gives you an answer.
What else would they be
or something
called?
Like that. I don't know. I don't know. What are they called?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of it.
Were they horizontal or vertical?
Vertical.
Oh, so the vertical bars.
Yeah. So I have a question for you guys.
Yep.
How many cats is too many in your house?
2.
How many?
1.
I think
You're so full of crap, Paul, because you.
I got no choice.
I know.
See, I have 4.
Okay.
And I think that's a very comfortable number. I think when you
4
start
cats, okay.
Yeah, that's a very comfortable number because when you start going too high, then it's like, I don't know. Can you manage that? Can you yourself manage all that? Unless you have a spouse, it's like, and even then, like, do you guys both work? You guys both work at the same times? Who's gonna be taking care of the cats?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Cats,
oh, absolutely. I know
other
cats
than
are
doing a litter
self-sufficient.
box, cats pretty much take care of themselves.
Well, no, I know, but like, if you forget to leave food out for them in the morning, so they can't eat during the day. You know what I'm saying? Or if they're younger cats, what are you gonna do?
Well, then they sleep most of the day too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah. So, well, anyway.
So how many cats are too many cats?
I don't know.
I would say anything above like 6.
6 cats.
Anything above that.
Okay.
So you start getting to 10 cats, it's like, I think you need to settle down.
All right, Paul, why don't you?
I'm not going there.
Come on, if you don't, I will. Tell Austin how many cats you have at your house.
Well, you run a cat sanctuary, don't you? Something like that.
I don't.
My
wife does.
He doesn't have a choice. So how many cats do you have now?
Just gotta be.
You don't even know.
13, 14, maybe.
I don't know. Shows up.
I don't even know the count, but I know they're up there.
Well,
the good thing about them is I don't really see them all in one place at one time.
That's good,
which makes it good, because they're all disappeared someplace. So.
And one day, Paul was sitting in his easy chair. Cat comes up. Paul looks at him and goes, "I've never seen you before."
I was just about to say, Paul sits down in his lazy boy after a hard day of working out on the lawn, and next thing you know, he's got 13 cats sitting on him.
No,
the cat looks up at him and says, "I've been here a month, Paul. Where the hell you been?"
Yeah. No, they're actually they're funny because a lot of cats are afraid of men. They tend to linger more towards women than they do men for some reason. Yeah.
So Stan seems to think that any cats is too many.
He must be a dog guy.
Stan, are you a dog guy? You have see now, we had 5. So when we moved from Canterbury back to Jewett City, one died. Yeah. Melissa's daughter took 2.
Yeah.
So that left us with 2. Now we have one that's kind of sickly. We don't know. We don't really know how old she is because she was a barn cat. Yeah. And then we have Samantha's cat, which is Simba.
Yeah.
Which is the bitchiest orange cat I've ever.
Yeah, some of them can be that way, that's for sure.
But Simba's very timid and again does not like men.
Yeah, for some reason.
Loves Samantha, but doesn't like anybody else.
Yeah, I don't understand it because maybe it's because I'm tall and they see me. I don't know. There's just a few of them. They just gone when I walk by.
Well, the one cat that we do have that I like is Pepper, and she's very friendly.
Yeah,
she's very old.
Yeah,
and acting her age lately, so we don't know what's going on with her. She's got to go to the vet, but
Yeah.
um,
They're a lot of work. I mean, they'll pick. I mean, cats they pretty much do themselves, but you got the litter boxes, and then you got the pukey crap that they puke all the time, and
they do.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not an easy. They're not like they say cats are a lot easier than dogs.
Yeah.
They are in a way because you don't have to take them out and walk them to to go because you got
No.
the litter boxes, but you
Right.
got to clean those litter boxes.
Right.
You ever try to put a cat on a leash?
No.
Some cats like it. Some cats are
I
fine
know.
with it.
There's a guy in town that walks around. I haven't seen him do this in a while, but he for years he walked around with this cat on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And the cat didn't move.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah, I mean a lot of people have cats on leashes.
Yeah. I used to have a cat that would sit on my shoulder. She
Yeah.
loved sitting up on my shoulder.
Really?
but walk around town with the
No,
you see what I mean?
no. Walk around the house, yeah.
Yeah.
But the good thing is I got nice broad shoulders, so she could sit up there. It's like a
Yeah.
perch.
Put a mountain lion up there.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, from here to here, it's 21 inches, which is like 3 or 4 inches over the average shoulder width. So if you really wanted to know, I got shoulders like a linebacker. So
Well,
I make a better wall.
keep your neck warm.
True.
Thomas Millett says, "Good morning, Tom. Tom, how many
Morning,
cats do you
Tom.
have? Do you have any cats?" Well, we're wondering to see who has cats and who doesn't. Now, there's a bunch of people in there. Let us know. I mean, how many cats do you have? Or if you don't like cats, say I have no cats.
Right.
Because we're trying to decide how many cats is too many.
Right.
So we had 5 at one point. You had 4. We're down to 2, and Paul has like 13 to 15, legit.
Yeah.
Because, well, the reason is because his wife runs Kitty Harbor.
Right.
Right.
So, but apparently they're harboring most of them themselves. So,
No, I think it's to a point now where there won't be any new ones. As they disappear, they disappear.
Zariana says, "Good morning."
Good morning.
Sarah says, "Good morning. 2 cats is plenty for me. If you add conditions to keeping cats, then also nothing in a cage that cats like to eat makes life easier." Yeah, I'm assuming like mices and mices.
Yeah, well, some of them.
Mices.
Those darn nieces.
Or hamsters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your cat food bill a month?
I don't know, but I know it cost me for a couple bags. That cost me like $101, $102 just for me for a couple bags of food.
All right. Now, what do the cats eat then?
Paul sitting over there. I like chicken. I like liver. Meow mix, please deliver.
I can see Paul
You curl up in a sunny spot, Paul.
doing this.
You're right. That's the other problem is the hair got on your clothes. That's why you really can't wear black because
Paul has yet to cough up a fur ball here, though. So
I was just about to ask.
No fur balls yet.
Yeah.
Kathy Wasilick. Morning. Good morning, Kathy.
Morning.
No cats, but have a dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people have a cat and a dog.
Yeah. That's what we had.
Yeah.
We've
But
had
what I
cats
find
and
mostly is that people have either cats or they have dogs.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of in between.
Yeah.
Except for me. I was in between.
Yeah.
I had
So
a
we have
dog.
2 dogs. We have 2 dogs as well.
Yeah.
We have little barky dogs.
Yeah.
I've always
Well-
had more cats than I've had dogs. Through my lifetime, I've only had 1 dog. And we've just had, we've had cats come and go.
Yeah.
We don't get, we've gotten kittens, but we like the more middle-aged
Yeah.
cats.
Well, it's
so-
not as much work. I mean,
Well, right.
kittens are really a pain because you got,
Plus, it's also the fact that now, like everybody goes to the shelter and they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, kittens, kittens, kittens," and then the old ones just kind of sit there like, "I guess I'm just gonna die here. I don't get a loving home. I get to sit in the shelter."
See, before
Not
Melissa
that
and
the
I,
shelters aren't loving, but
they're not. They're just some of the nicest little kittens there.
Yeah.
But before Melissa and I got together, I had 2 cats. One, I don't know where the hell it went. It was named Pumpkin, because it had like bright orange eyes. Wasn't the friendliest cat, but my daughter Rihanna was close to it. But then there was my cat. There was Randy, and Randy was a what do they call him? A Russian blue. But he was a beautiful cat, the friendliest cat you'd ever want to meet. He slept with me every night under the covers, snuggled up to me. And but that was when I was lonely. And nobody there. So we moved out to Canterbury, and we kept the cats inside because we didn't know what was going to happen, because there's a lot of woods behind us. Well, we found out what happened. Randy went out one day and never came back. So
unfortunately, that happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Laura says, I grew up with cats and dogs, but now we have dogs only now.
Yeah.
Thomas says, I have a bloodhound named Dane, right? Oh, no. A bloodhound, a Dane, or a Great Dane. You have a Great Dane?
Oh, those are fun dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wanted one.
Mm-hmm. And a lab.
Unfortunately, Great Danes don't live that long.
Laura says, I guess it depends on your lifestyle and what you have time or space for. Now, that's very, very true.
Yeah,
true.
That's very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
The problem, Zariana says, is with overpopulation, the rescue organizations are spaying and neutering the feral cats, so it helps.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
My wife actually catches them and then gets them spayed or neutered, and then she takes them back to the spot that they were.
And then she says she has just 2 cats.
Yeah. And what they do is they cut the ear. They put a They cut the ear so
little
you know.
snip.
So you know that's been
little
spayed.
slice.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
David says, wait a minute. I'm willing to bet you named Randy after the Macho Man. Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. You got me. You got me. Yeah.
You got me.
Macho Madness. Yeah. Snap into it.
Here we go to wrestling again.
Yeah.
Right
I
back.
but I do miss my cat Randy. Yeah. I really honestly do. He was such a good boy.
Yeah.
And just a kind kitty, and because there's so many cats, I mean, at least 50% of them are assholes.
Oh yeah.
It's like they don't want nothing to do with you. I'm going to let you live in your house kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, but Randy wasn't like that at all. So only the good die young. Yeah. Rest in peace, Randall.
Yeah.
So actually, David, just so you know, it wasn't after Macho Man. It was actually after Randy Orton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So what is the number? I guess the number of cats really depends on each individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think now when she's older now, so she realizes it's a lot of work. So
Austin, I have to ask you something. What's the catio?
Hmm?
The catio?
No, the catio
that you built for your cats. Tell us about that.
So, because like I said, I've had a lot of cats throughout my lifetime,
mm-hmm.
and because of where I live, there's a lot of woods behind my house and everything. We get a lot of coyotes. Sadly,
that was our problem.
That was our cats problem, to coyotes and other things. And so, wanting to let our cats still go outside and run around, we built what's called a catio. So it's just a big wooden frame. It's a big wooden rectangle with a ramp that comes down, a perch for them to sit, or lay under. Excuse me. And then just a space for them to run around. We can hang toys and whatever. And it's a wire fence, so they can't get out, but they can still look out. They can still, if an acorn falls or whatever, they tend to just reach their paw through and grab it and play with it and then bring it in and bat it around and do whatever. And Simon comes in with sticks all the time, and I don't know how he does it, but he somehow manages to get katydids. He somehow
katydids?
Yeah,
is that one of the names? Katydids?
No,
that's an insect.
That's an insect.
Oh, I thought it was one of the names of your cats.
No. He'll grab katydids, and I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it, but because we'll see him, and he'll be walking in, he'll have this big green thing in his mouth, and we're like, What do you got? What do you got, Simon? And then he just scurries away, and we can't find him. And then he's eating it, and I'm like, dude, come on. I'm like, dude. And Simon actually had a brother, and I've actually been asked about this a lot of times because I talk about, the 3 cats, Simon, Batman, and Frank. And I've been asked,
Where's Robin?
Well, not that one. I haven't. That's the first time I've gotten that one, but I've gotten from a few people. Why isn't it Garfunkel? And I'm like, that's a funny story because we had Garfunkel, but sadly, because we got Simon and Garfunkel, they're brothers from the same litter.
Got it.
But sadly, Garfunkel had an enlarged heart, so we had to put him down.
And that's sad because there are people that that people get it attached to their pets.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter what kind of pet you have.
Yeah.
We just are talking about cats because that's common.
The topic of the day.
Yeah, but people have snakes, and some people have llamas.
Yeah.
My wife's been talking about a patio. She keeps pointing.
Bearded dragons.
Catio. I keep saying. Don't bother me.
See, Austin's a trailblazer.
Yeah,
the catio is it's a safe place so they can they go. It's got a box that comes up, and it's just 4 walls, and then they just go right in.
How do they get out of the house?
Through the window.
Oh, you have it through the window.
They go up and through the kitchen window and then down into the catio,
which
and
is
then
next to the wall. So to the window, to the wall.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
So, Paul, if you weren't married to a lady that ran a cat rescue,
I wouldn't have any.
You wouldn't have any cats.
No.
Okay.
No.
So how do you? So, I guess the obvious question there. How do you manage things? If you wouldn't want any cats, and all of a sudden your wife comes in with 20 cats, I mean, it's like you must love her a lot.
Yes, dear.
Paul's like, as long as I can keep the Audi, we're fine.
Let's see. Kathy says my daughter has a hedgehog, which are wonderful little creatures.
Yeah, they are.
They are wonderful little creatures.
Yeah.
So
true.
Anyway.
They are.
So this morning so far, we're talking about how many cats is too many or not enough, in your house. Then we're going to talk about the referendum that is happening in a little bit in the town of Griswold. We're going to break for news, and we're going to do that, and we will get into some of that chatter because that's happening today. The polls are open they're open now. They opened at 6,
right,
and they'll close at 8:00 tonight. And they're looking for 76 grand, right?
What?
760 grand.
Yeah.
To finish the senior center, which will bring the total price tag of the senior center, what, about 8.3?
Something like that, yeah. But I think, okay, we'll talk about that.
David says, I was so attached to my last dog that it took me 7 years to be able to get our new dog 9 months ago. I love having a dog, but I can't stand losing them. But I take it very hard. And you know what?
That's true.
Yeah. When I was growing up, I had a dog named Toby. I think everybody's had a dog named Toby. But I had a dog named Toby. He was a cockapoo. And Toby died when she was 15. And I was her alpha. I mean, she slept with me. Every time I'm up on the couch, kind of like Howie now. Just got up to the couch with me, sat with me, and it was always with me. Got married, moved out of the house, came home one day, and first thing I said to my mother, "Where's Tobes?" And then she started to cry.
No.
And she had told me that my dad took her that morning to put her down.
Yeah.
It was time. She was blind at that point and had a lot of.
What happens.
But still, that is also
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens. A lot of times they can't hold their balls anymore, and you put up for a little while, but
she was okay with that, but she had tumors all over her.
Yeah, you're better off rather than have the animal suffer.
And even these days, I have dreams with my mom holding and petting Toby. So
yeah.
So anyway, I was 25 when Toby died.
Yeah.
Well, it took me. So, David, to your point, it took me until 3 years ago that I could really feel like I could love a dog again.
Sure.
I mean, I loved animals, don't get me wrong, but I couldn't get close.
Yeah.
I have that, it's like, I get zapped by something or something. It takes me a long time to trust that again. But so now we have Howie and Henry, which, I talk about them from time to time.
Sure.
And I'm just happy that, and they do. I get on the couch, boom, they're right up on my lap.
Yep.
Little Shih Tzus. But they bark a little too much.
Well, that's the problem with small dogs. They do a lot of barking.
Huh?
A lot of small dogs bark like crazy.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Well, we got these collars. We just bought these collars.
Yeah.
That now they're humane collars. They don't electrically zap them.
Yeah.
It's more works on sonar and also the little vibration. Just kind of like, hey, nope. But it's not an electrical shock or anything like that. Because what'll happen is that there's a lot of action that goes by our house. It's a fairly busy road. Plus, a lot of people walk and they're walking their dogs. So as soon as that happens, well, Howie and Henry are at the big picture window going, and it's barking all through the house. So we had to stop that.
They used the remote.
Yeah. And then there's a dog next to us, who gets put out all day long. Her name is Roxy. Beautiful little beagle, but she sits there and barks all day long, morning, noon, and night, until she gets brought in. And then she's just sitting there on a chain in the front of the yard. I'm like, why? This dog is so friendly. And so, and Howie and Henry love to go over and sniff each other's butts, and stuff, and having a good time. But the dog just sits there all day long. It's kind of sad.
That's kind of sad.
It is kind of sad. I almost want to say, what? Why don't you give us Roxy? Howie and Henry need a friend.
Yeah.
And Howie and Henry are brothers. So it's funny, even when they walk, they poop together, they pee together, and it's funny because they walk in tandem together. Oh, yeah, they can't be without one another. So, all right, we're going to take a quick break for some news, and we'll be back in a minute and hang out with us as we talk about, whatever the hell we wanted.
True.
But we'll get into the Senior Center vote. That's coming up in, just a couple of minutes right here on SNSN. Good morning.
Hi, I'm Harry, the Tooth Fairy. Or at least I used to be the Tooth Fairy. Business was great. Then people started discovering Griswold Dental. Dr. Norman Katzoff and his staff can do things to help you keep your teeth longer. It's enough to make an old Tooth Fairy cry. Griswold Dental can do all the work in-house. Imagine a new crown in 2 hours. They even know how to make dental anxiety go away. They even have a laser that can help with your gums. Griswold Dental will make you want to smile again. They can restore, clean, and help prevent all those problems that keep me in business. Dr. Katzoff and his staff will make you feel like family. They're friendly and you'll be comfortable. Contact Griswold Dental today and set up an appointment. 860-376-2624. 860-376-2624. Griswold Dental, 87 Slater Avenue, Jewett City. Tell them the Tooth Fairy sent you.
The flagship for Griswold High School sports, and your home for local news and weather.
Broadcasting from Main Street in the borough of Jewett City.
The Streaming News and Sports Network, SNSN.
The 9 a.m. report on the Streaming News and Sports Network is being brought to you by Charlene's Diner, 37 Main Street, Jewett City. Family owned for almost 40 years. Order what you want, eat what you get. That's Charlene's Diner.
I love working here because of the people, and I get to work with my family every day.
Come to Charlene's Diner for the best breakfast you've ever had.
That was Brittany and Matt from Charlene's Diner on Main Street in Jewett City. There are only a few things that have been able to stand the test of time in Jewett City, and one of them just happens to be Charlene's Diner, who just celebrated their 40th anniversary in business. How do you stay in business that long in a small town like Jewett City? It's a simple recipe, really great food and friendly service, and of course, family. You'll feel like family too, because you'll always be greeted with a smile that makes you feel like you're right at home. Stop by for breakfast or lunch 7 days a week. If you don't have any time, well, that's no problem. Order ahead and your food will be waiting for you when you walk into Charlene's door. You can find Charlene's Diner on Facebook too. Stop in and join the family for breakfast or lunch today.
I'm Charlene. Come to Charlene's Diner and order what you want and eat what you get.
Here's a look at your local news headlines on SNSN. Today is referendum day in the town of Griswold. Today we find out if the town's residents will vote yes or will they vote no on if the town shall take $760,000 out of the assigned fund balance to finish the new Griswold Senior Center on Taylor Hill. According to the Board of Finance, if the vote is yes, taxes will not be raised in the town. The voting polls are open now and will be open until 8 p.m. tonight. And the polls are at Griswold High School in the gymnasium. SNSN will keep you updated on one of the more personal and yet political discussions in Griswold for some time. If you remember, 2 years ago, the project was bonded also in a referendum for a price tag of $7.4 million. If the residents of Griswold vote yes, the project will have cost more than $8 million. Food distribution boxes will continue to be given out in the town of Griswold from farm to families. They're going to be May 10th, May 17th, and May 24th. The food boxes will be given away from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. or until they run out, whatever comes first. It's going to be at the Griswold Senior Center over at Town Hall, 22 Sewell Street, here in Jewett City. Now, the box is free. There's no paperwork that is necessary. You simply drive up, they put the box in your car, and you drive away. It's all at the Griswold Senior Center and at Town Hall. Again, May 10th, May 17th, and May 24th. In high school baseball yesterday, the Griswold Wolverines fell to Killingly by the score of 19-0 in a shortened 5-inning contest. The Wolverines only had one runner reach base yesterday, and that same runner actually made it to base twice. Chris Tanucci had a long double in the first and also walked later on. Griswold takes on Plainfield on Thursday, a game that will be heard right here on SNSN and also seen on SNSN YouTube.
The 9 a.m. report on SNSN has been brought to you by Charlene's Diner, 37 Main Street, Jewett City. Family owned for almost 40 years. Order what you want. Eat what you get. That's Charlene's Diner.
All right, 9 minutes after now. Ooh, check that, 9:10 here in the borough of Jewett City. In eastern Connecticut, New London County, state of Connecticut, United States of America, Earth. That's where we are.
Right.
Some people are in outer space, though.
Yes,
There we go.
There are some people in outer space.
There are. Here's the weather with Paul Lash.
Good morning, everybody. Right now, the temperature downtown Jewett City is 50 degrees. Periods of rain and drizzle today. Highs will be around 59 degrees. For tonight, rain showers this evening. It's going to clear overnight. Lows will be around 46 degrees. And of course, for your Thursday, well, it's going to, except for a few afternoon clouds, it's going to be mostly sunny. Highs around 64 degrees. And of course, for Thursday night, partly cloudy, lows around 42. And that's your weather from SNSN on this Wednesday, 05/05/2021.
Streaming live.
I love it. It's the best rock station ever.
We listen to you all the time. Broadcasting from within our 6 feet social distance.
The streaming news and sports network.
Okay, so today is one of those days where you have to talk a little serious. But I don't know.
Do we really have to?
Do we really have to? I don't know what else needs to be said, about the referendum. What's happening today? It's happening. It started at 6 a.m. this morning.
Yep.
It'll go to 8 o'clock tonight. And the vote is for, shall the town appropriate $760,000 out of the unassigned fund balance?
The general fund, right?
Well, if you want to be correct 100%, it says the unassigned fund balance.
Correct.
To finish the Griswold Senior Center up on Taylor Hill.
Right.
So it's really up to you. It's really up to you.
Yeah. Well, there certainly has been a lot of discussion on it. Been a lot of people on the left, a lot of people on the right have been talking about it. So it's up now to the residents to make their mind up. However, like I said, this one is to take it out of the unassigned fund, which means there would be no impact to the taxpayer
Right.
per se. However, it does impact what they say is the town's capability of having some funds in there to lower the bond rates or interest rates.
But apparently the amount that it is being asked for is not going to
It's not a
affect.
significant amount that it's going to affect.
Right. Now, if it was like $3 million they were looking
Yeah.
for.
A lot of people are against taking it out of there. However, they got to get the money from somewhere, because it's certainly from a town perspective, it doesn't make any sense to leave a building of that value idle,
Right.
with nothing in it.
Because then you're just going to have to pay more to keep it up anyway.
Right. So,
So
eventually they're going to get the funds somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's the hard fact. And I think this is something that we all need to realize. Whether you're for this project or you are against this project,
Right.
it's going to get done.
Right.
No matter what, it's
Right.
going to get done.
Yeah. Let's stop.
They're going to find the money somehow. It's going to get done. They're not going to let, Austin just said, it's going to cost a lot of money. You have mentioned it, Paul, in the past. It's going to cost a lot of money to go ahead and upkeep the building if it just sits there.
Right.
It's going to get done.
It's going to get done. Yeah. And let's stop blaming everybody. I mean, come on, there's more finger pointing going on about this thing.
It doesn't matter at this point.
Who cares?
And it really doesn't. And, you can sit there and say, hey, Mike, well, it does matter. Well, no, it doesn't. We know it's going to cost $760,000 to go ahead and finish the project. That's all we need to know. Either you vote yes or you vote no.
Right.
Or
you can whine about it all you want. It doesn't change the fact that it's going to be $760,000.
Right.
And it's going to happen whether you vote yes today or no today.
Right.
At some point, it'll get done.
Right.
Right.
Grizzle now doesn't seem to think that.
I don't care what Grizzle now thinks.
No one does.
To be honest with you.
Yeah. They
No
don't
one here does.
They don't talk for the town.
Exactly.
They're just a group of individuals who think they know it all.
And it's okay to express your opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever that opinion is. But when you start crapping on other people,
then people get ticked off at you because
There
you
you
expressed
go.
your opinion, which is common amongst all these social media sites. No matter if you comment on something, it's your idea, you don't agree with them, right away they're all over your butt. And that's
so
the
instead
way-
of social media, why don't we have a site that is a civil media site
that would be
where
impossible.
people can actually debate on the one I use, the SNSN community news page.
Yeah.
If anybody starts crapping, boom, I delete it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Or I close comments off
Right.
or whatever. I don't
Right.
let it happen.
Right.
And that's the reason why that if somebody posts there, I have to approve it.
Sure.
Because I'm not because I'm trying to micromanage.
Yeah.
Well, it is because I'm trying to micromanage because I don't trust enough that people aren't going to start, dropping whatever they want to drop in there.
Right.
They want to do that. Go to Grizzle Now and do that.
Right.
That is what that page is for.
Yeah.
Grizzle Discuss, or as I call it, Grizzle Disgusting. That page.
Well,
Whatever.
Grizzle Discuss is a little bit different.
That's a shit show.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There is one out there that's pretty good though. Does a lot of old time pictures of Griswold,
Mhm.
which I find interesting.
Well, there's the if you're from Jewett City page.
Maybe
It's
that's the one.
That's the one. Now that one is very nice.
Maybe
I
that's
like
the
that
I was
one.
thinking about.
There's no
Yeah.
drama on that page.
Yeah, they show a lot of old time pictures of what Jim
Older
said.
residents and stuff.
Yeah,
Guess who this is?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
for a while that was run by, I believe, former state trooper Gene Gutnick.
Oh.
And I think Terry Sumner's in it now.
Oh.
As part of running it, if I'm
Yeah,
not
it's-
mistaken,
it's-
but I
that
could be
one-
wrong.
That one
but-
there is pretty interesting. But
Yeah, that's a great page.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's and they run it right. And
Yeah.
it is what it is. They don't, they don't start bringing up a whole bunch of social events or whatever.
yeah, I know.
So, I think you got to look at it this way. This is just my opinion. Is that in 1 year from today, you're going to sit back, you're going to enjoy a cup of coffee, and you're going to be planning to either A, if you're a senior, you're going to be planning on maybe going down to the senior center that has been paid for, because you're going to sit there in a year from now and say, guess what? It's done and it's open. No matter how many referendums they have, they're going to find the money.
Right.
It's whether it's going to be today, or it's going to be next month, or it's going to be the month after that.
Right. Right.
And that's just the fact. It has nothing to do with whether or not how I'm going to vote or how you're going to vote, or Austin's not going to vote because he lives in Plainfield.
Right.
Correct.
So, but let's put it this way. And let me ask you another question. Would you, and I would like to know what people think in the group, because they're falling off because they don't want to talk about anything serious. They want to talk about it. We had tons of people and they're talking about cats. But, we're talking about this. It's like, screw it. We don't want to talk about this. If you had the chance to have a true Griswold community center, would you vote yes or no? If you had that chance, forget the senior center for a minute.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to vote either yes or no on a Griswold community center, would you vote yes or no? Now, take in mind, and this is some food for thought. A community center will cost over $20 million to build.
Big time. Yeah.
Over $20 million.
Yeah. Because of the facilities that are in these community
Right.
centers.
Because community centers have maybe a pool, basketball courts,
Yeah.
because it's a community center.
Yeah.
It may have staging for
Plays.
public events and plays and that kind of
Right.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them also include like this land around them too. There's like tennis courts outside.
Right.
and,
Exactly.
Yep.
a lot of times there's baseball fields outside.
Yep.
And some of these, I mean, that's some of the big cities. That's what they have. And of course, the big cities can afford it.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Here, it's not a very rich town, so you're really a lot of these things you can't afford.
Scott Davis just put in the group, let's see, a box of popcorn and wide open eyes. Like I'm watching. The thing is, Scott, is there aren't going to be any comments.
No.
There aren't going to be any comments. People aren't going to pipe up on this.
Because nobody wants to talk about it.
Because, right. Because it's not Griswold now where people can go ahead and crap on it.
Yeah.
And they start a war.
Mm-hmm.
No,
However, as I say that,
Yep.
there's a comment from Rich Wasilek. A community center is essential and a better investment. Both a senior center and youth center should be in the building as a better investment.
But hindsight is always 20/20.
So let's say he's right.
Yeah, he's
Okay, let's just say he's right. Okay. And I'm Rich, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. But what I would say is the real question is this: would you spend the money? We all want, I want a NASCAR stadium out in Griswold somewhere. Does that mean we're going to get it? No. Hell no.
I think if a referendum came up to build a community center that cost $25 million, it would be rejected.
Because they're going to look at the price tag.
Exactly.
And they're not going to look at supply and demand and benefit.
Right. They're going to say, we're never going to use all that stuff, 25 million. Because people realize they couldn't afford it.
Right.
This is not, Hartford. This is not New Britain. This is not a big city where there are millions.
It's not Bridgeport. It's not Danbury.
No.
Yeah.
In the state ain't going to give us crap.
Yeah. No.
You're not going to get that from the state.
Right.
So you're on your own.
You know why? Because there's not enough votes out here to matter.
That's right.
From Thompson all the way down to New London, there are more votes in Bridgeport alone than there are in the whole eastern part of the state. So they don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, would I love to see a community center? Sure, I would.
Yeah.
But
me too.
Do you want to be paying all those dollars? I mean, look at what would happen to the tax rate.
Right.
I should be paying double for your house taxes that you do now. For what?
So, Rich, I agree with you. Okay, Rich, it's not going to be an $8 million community center. Not going to happen.
No, not for $8 million.
No, not for $8 million.
No.
And for $8 million, if we could do it for $8 million, yeah, sure, all day long.
Oh yeah,
it'll never happen.
No, God no.
You can't put the amenities that you need in a community center,
Yeah, community
for
center,
that amount of money.
just not a. What the hell is it? What do you mean by community center? I mean anybody can go in and use it? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, community
whose
center.
fault is that?
What are you talking about?
It can't be called a community center because of the politicians back 4 or 5 years ago and how they created the grant.
No, they didn't create the grant.
Well, they wrote the grant that way.
No, the grant came with that stipulation, with that money.
Yeah.
You know, the saying, well, it had to be used for a senior center.
Well,
and so now we're going to go ahead and say, okay, is it Babbitt? Is it School Check? Is it, oh shit, maybe it's Phil Anthony. Had nothing to do with him. It was how the grant was presented, and these were the stipulations in that grant.
Well, if we add another $350,000 to the $700,000, then we could pay back the grant, and then it could be called whatever the hell you want.
Okay, but the problem is we don't, and we didn't, and this is the way it sits.
That's the way. Yeah.
So again,
but who knew back then? I mean, this was years ago.
Yeah, but it was. But we can sit here, we can learn from it, or we can sit here and bitch, about what we should have done. Well, we didn't.
No.
Right.
And you can't change it.
They can't change it.
So move on.
Right.
But that's not the way people are looking at it. They keep saying, why isn't it a community center?
Because the original grant, which was supposed to be for the old senior center,
Correct.
To see if it was a what do they call it? Ways and Means? Is that
the Ways and Means Committee? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, they were looking to see if they could actually go ahead and get more out of the old senior center.
Yeah, they talked about going to the second floor.
They couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it.
But that money was used for a senior center.
Yeah.
So then they said, okay, can we use these plans, and then they said yes. So there you go.
Correct. Oh, well, we can argue all we want, but unfortunately,
Yeah,
it's the senior center. It's called the senior center, and that's what it's going to be. And vote yes or vote no, whatever you want.
Yeah, and look at the facts. Don't look at the woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Yeah.
I think this is part of the issue.
Yeah.
And the woulda, coulda, shouldas is, people are going back and forth, makes it political, makes it personal, but they're not looking at, okay, this is where we're at.
Right.
All the other bull doesn't matter at this point. All we can do is we can learn from whatever bull crap that came out of this and apply it to the next situation, because there will be one. There'll be another situation.
Sure will be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out after 8 o'clock tonight what the residents think.
Yeah.
And they're going to be for it or they're going to be against it.
Joanne says, I would vote yes if a room in the community center could be used for a venue and charge a fee that would help fund the project.
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can do that either. I think only nonprofits.
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but please, I'm just throwing things out there. Tell me I'm wrong, but
yeah, but
tell me why I'm wrong. I really want to know. I'm not sitting here, saying that I am the all-knowing, all-seeing, because God knows I know that I'm not.
Yeah, but I mean, think that they do a lot of things, not just for seniors. They do a lot of things for other people who are in town that having hard times.
Yeah, I mean, they are kind of a community center without being
in a way, not being called a community center.
Right. Tina does all of the social programs right out of the senior center.
Correct.
The fuel fund program is out of there. Meals on Wheels is there.
Yep.
And other things.
Yeah, because I was just about to say the two lovely. I couldn't remember their names, and I'm sorry. The two lovely ladies that were here a couple weeks ago talking about this. It's not like a community center where it's like, you can go with your buddy and go shoot hoops at the community center. But if you're down on your luck and you're going through hard times, you can go there. They aren't just going to go, you're not over 65, go away.
That's right. Tina doesn't turn anybody away.
Right.
No.
They like you said, they run the social programs out of their Meals on Wheels. They run them out of the senior center, the current senior center.
Didn't they change the name? It's now the Griswold Senior and Wellness.
It could
community
be.
center.
I don't
like
know.
That. Yeah.
I really don't know.
So David, who's in the group, says, I have no dog in the fight because he lives in Hamden. The crime in Hamden with the youth is outrageous. Because of this, our town is going to crap, he says. Businesses are leaving, and because of this, our taxes go up every year. We have one of the highest mill rates in the state. Norwich has got a very high mill rate, too, by the way. So my opinion for the town of Griswold would be to vote for it and pay now. Trust me, you will be paying later down the road. So there you go.
Yeah.
There, and we want your opinion. And yeah, please say, Mike, you're wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm just trying to facilitate conversation here. These are just my opinions.
Yeah.
And if you believe that I am wrong, then tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I can accept that. Yeah. I got my big boy pants on.
And I don't go to the senior center. I don't belong to the senior center. I've never been to the senior center. Have I supported a couple of meals they've done? Yeah, I've gone down and supported them because they were doing, I think it was the fuel thing they were doing, Operation Fuel to give people the breakfast for fuel. And I've supported them that way, but I don't belong. I don't go there.
Okay, so here's a story about that. When I was 47 years old, not a senior. I had left my job. I literally had this, and I'm not afraid to say it, and I'm not embarrassed to say it, but I had a freaking nervous breakdown. I was going through a divorce. The house was, whatever, and I was just losing my ever-loving mind. Excuse me. And it was a time period that I went through, and I had $0. Zero. I don't have $2, but I don't have $0 now, but I did then. Somebody told me, why don't you go down to the senior center and talk to Tina? Because it was now November and it was getting cold. And guess who had no oil in the tank? This guy. I went down to the senior center. Talked to Tina. I'd only known her about a month and a half. I've told you the story, have I not? Mm-hmm. So the senior center, which it's dubbed as, she made an immediate call to an oil company, and the next day I had 150 gallons of oil in my tank, which I used very sparingly because I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Sure.
And that was our senior center that did that. Right. I was not a senior. Right. So personally, nothing to do with SNSN, nothing to do with anybody else in town. I'm voting yes all day long. Not only because of what they did for me personally, but what I see for them to do, what they do for people that are not seniors on a daily basis.
Right. Right. Because
I see it every day.
Yeah.
Because of what I do.
Everybody gets into that position sometime during their life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right now you may be, living high off the hog, but
I'm not living high off the hog.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying that, but something happens and you're down in the dumps, you don't have anything, and then you got this organization that will come along and help you. I mean, so everybody in their everybody in their life eventually has that point in their life where something happens.
And the people at the senior center brought me up.
Right.
They lifted me up, and I've told Tina this on more than one occasion, probably to the point where she's sick of hearing it, that it was what they did for me that actually helped me believe in humanity again, because I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And that is the God's honest truth. And then I swore that I was going to go ahead and do something to serve back the community. Yeah. So what do? We're doing news and sports and stuff like that here. Yeah. And that's because somebody said, you know what, Mike, it's okay.
Yep.
And that came from the senior center.
Right. So in reality, it doesn't say community center. It doesn't have all of the pools and the basketball courts and the track meets and everything else that you may find in a community center. But from perspective of helping individuals as community centers do.
And I'm a registered Republican.
And it's there. So
I'm a Republican, and probably I've pissed off all the other Republicans, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So
that shouldn't have anything to do with it.
No, I know. Yeah. So let's go another step further.
Okay.
Let's go another step further.
All right.
How long you been in this town?
Me, I've been here since probably 76, maybe 75.
Okay, so you've been in town about 33, 34 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you owned a home the entire time?
Yep.
Okay, so you've been paying taxes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you've been paying property tax, paying car tax
Absolutely.
to the town of Griswold.
Yep.
Right? Do you have any kids in the school system?
The only kid, I only had one.
I'm not talking about your grandchild. I'm talking about you.
Oh.
Was Mike in the Griswold school system?
No.
Okay. So you personally, I mean, I know Madison was in the Griswold school
My
system.
daughter was in Griswold Grammar School.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay. Right through high school?
No.
Okay, so just in grammar school.
Yeah.
So a few years.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect example.
Yeah.
You've been paying taxes for over 30 years to the town of Griswold.
Yeah.
You don't go to the senior center.
Nope.
Weird, huh? Not weird that you don't go to the senior center, but you've been paying all these years.
Yep.
And then they want money, an extra, money to finish the senior center.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. And what do you get out of it? Think about it.
My point is
Yeah.
that you've been here and you're not the only senior that has been here 30 plus years.
Right.
I mean, again, we've talked off microphone about this 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Right.
Some of these seniors have been here, owned homes, paid taxes to the town of Griswold. They voted for two different schools, the grammar school and the high school 30 years ago.
Right.
And they possibly didn't have any kids there, just like you.
Right.
But still voted for it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
And now they want to finish the senior center. Yeah. All day long. And I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, you don't have to.
yeah. So suppose if you pay $5,000 or $6,000 a year for taxes, you multiply that times 30.
It's 150 grand
It's
just from you.
Just me.
Just you.
Right. Yeah.
Did you go to Griswold High School?
No.
Oh.
I don't use any.
So you don't use any facilities in town, but you still pay your taxes and your car taxes every single year, correct?
Correct.
Huh.
The only thing I get out of the town is the road gets plowed, and I live on
And
a
that's
private. I live on a
nice.
private road, and they don't plow that because it's not a town
Yeah.
road. I have to do it myself. So
Yeah.
I get nothing out of them other than they plow the main roads.
My point is this: I don't care if you get the money from the referendum today. I don't care if you get it from a grant. I don't care if you. Oh, well, this will be fun.
Uh-oh.
Good morning. Who's on SNSN this morning? Hello. Yeah, must be somebody want to talk to me about my car warranty.
Yeah.
I don't care where you get the money from. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's just fact, folks. I mean, we can fight it all we want.
Yeah.
If you don't agree, and that's okay if you don't agree, but it's going to happen.
Right.
This is one of those, and you can fight City Hall. Look at Pam Padalano, what she did with Keep Griswold Quiet. They said, no, we don't want a gun range here. And damn it, there's no gun range here.
Guess where the gun range is?
Where?
Simsbury. and guess what they're doing? They just appropriated funds to fix it.
The one that was like
Yeah, the
almost
one that was
underwater.
underwater. They just spent. The government is actually putting money into it now because nobody wanted it.
Of course.
So there you go.
But my point is Pam fought City Hall. She's fought the state, so you can. And if you don't want the senior center, you can fight that too.
Yep.
The reason why it's going to get done is because it's 90% done now. Otherwise, it'll just sit there.
Yeah.
So that's why.
It's like,
If you didn't want it, you should have voted no in the referendum
years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people. Matter of fact, I heard like a year ago people saying we're building a senior center. When the hell did that happen? So it's like where you been?
Yeah, information's out there.
Yeah.
Gotta take more than 10 seconds to look.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the political end.
Right.
I'm not looking at, well, a little bit it's personal because I have my own thing.
Yeah.
But
it should be political.
This is, am I bringing up anything that is not factual?
No.
No. Shouldn't be any politics involved with this whatsoever. It should be doing what you feel is right for the community.
Mhm.
Right.
If you don't feel it's right, then you as a individual, you have the opportunity to say no.
Yeah.
Right.
If you feel it's right, then you vote yes. It's your personal feeling on how you feel this should be handled.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I know if I lived in the town of Griswold, I'd be voting yes.
yeah.
Granted, it'd be for a personal reason because I have, my grandma. She's 81 years old, and if God forbid she needed assistance with something and we didn't know what to do or how to
Yeah.
help her, she could go there
Yeah.
and she could get help with somebody that's specifically designated to handle the elderly.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that's for sure. Everybody's going to get old.
Right.
But the point is that, and I think this is where the definition gets kind of cloudy. It's a senior center, but it's not a senior center.
Right.
They help, and for anybody that goes there, a TVCCA. I mean, we're talking about people that need. What about rental assistance?
Yeah.
Okay, you can be 28 years old, a single mom, single dad, and like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You can still go to the senior center and get assistance.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It's a community center without a basketball court. Does it matter what you call it?
There's no basketball court. So what?
You can call it a house of ill repute, if you want to. The fact is that the services are still the same.
Right.
So are people want it to be a community center because they want to call it a community center? Because you don't want a community center with a $25 million price tag. You don't want that. I'll tell you that.
They just feel that it should be open to everybody. Well, it is open to everybody.
It is,
really.
yeah.
I mean, and it's got this name senior, which they don't.
But this is the message that is not getting out there.
I know.
Okay, that's the message that's not getting out.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the town of Groton has like 2 senior centers. I think. And theirs is like, I don't know if you've been to the Groton Senior Center, but man, that thing's like, wow, that thing's gigantic.
Yeah.
This sure as hell ain't like this one up here. That's for sure. Yeah.
So I don't want anybody to think that I am, on my soapbox, because I'm not. I'm just trying to go ahead and put facts out there.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of the banter that has gone back and forth on social media has been opinion. Look at the Norwich. Somebody posted the Norwich Bulletin article on the senior center.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, Kevin Cunningham, the first selectman in Plainfield, just said the Griswold House of Ill Repute sent a different message. I was trying to be very sarcastic, Kevin. It was,
yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that. What the hell was I saying?
I don't know.
A lot of it's been very political.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Norwich Bulletin. Now,
I would. Yeah.
The Norwich Bulletin, in their article about this, the senior center build out, first of all, they're wrong. Did you read the numbers? They're way off.
Yeah.
They said that the cost overruns was $1.5 million.
Somebody,
then it was 960. Now it's 760.
That's what somebody told them.
Yeah.
They probably got it off at Griswold now.
Oh boy.
Fake news.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. And I already mentioned it to you, and I already talked to you. We had a little chat about this. The Board of Education is in business. They're a profit center. They're looking to bring money into the town.
Yeah, because that's how they do from out of town students, right?
Exactly. They get X amount of dollars per every student that comes from a different town, whether it is Canterbury, Lisbon, Baltic, Sprague, Preston, and Norwich are going to be added coming up. Yeah, Voluntown. They get, like I said, X amount of dollars. So it was budgeted that they were going to receive in the positive, because we do send kids elsewhere.
Absolutely.
So we got to pay them. So, but anyway, positive, they budgeted last year $1.1 million. The money they are actually realizing, $1.3 million. That's an additional $200,000 that it's going to go to the general fund.
Exactly.
That Griswold didn't even count on.
Right.
But you can thank the Board of Education for that. But see, that doesn't get talked about either.
No.
People just say, well, they bought too many pens and paper this year.
Yeah, that's right. Which is almost the same philosophy as just it's a much lower number than the issue with the senior center, but it's the same thing. They overspent.
They overspent on supplies. And guess what? They got another $200,000 coming in.
Yeah,
but they didn't even budget for.
I know. It's like, what the hell? I mean, if people are going to find something to bitch about, they're going to bitch about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And true. But let's look at the facts. Yeah. You know, numbers don't lie.
Nope.
Not at all.
Yeah. They do not.
So and that money just goes to the grizzled.
Just goes to like
the unassigned fund balance. That's where it goes. Yeah. So now look at it this way. You're voting on 760. Well, you get $200,000 coming in from the school. It's not even to 560. Yeah. Then what if that USDA grant comes in?
Well, it's got to come in before they pay it. So, they still have an opportunity. So we don't know about that. Plus, we got the 1.4 million sitting out there from the state that's going to come in to do something, which will. Yeah. We don't know what that money got to be used for yet, right? The 1.4.
I don't
million.
know.
The
COVID money.
The COVID money. Yeah, we don't know where that's going to go yet.
Yeah.
That could pay for the infrastructure problem that we got going, which will save us money.
There were only specific things that money could be used for. One of it was like communication.
Oh.
And I don't know. I don't remember. It was some sort of infrastructure, but I don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was talking to Eric. I did email back and forth with Eric Christensen about it. And I don't remember what he said. So as far as facts, I don't remember what the fact is, so I'm not going to talk about it. Right. So Daryl from the Healthy Computer. How about Daryl? Is Daryl healthy? Because we know Daryl had a procedure. Yeah. We hope Daryl is good and healthy. He says there would be more expense in the upkeep to a community center.
Of course.
Spot on.
Yeah, because you got more facilities you got to keep up.
What about a basketball court in a community center with COVID?
Yeah. What about a pool?
Yeah. Plainfield has a pool.
Yeah, I wonder how much it costs them plenty to keep that pool upkeep.
Yeah. Kevin, if you're still there,
I mean,
how much does it cost to? Because I understand the pool is going to be open soon. It's not open yet.
Yeah, they had an issue with it or something, right?
Well, it was a pump issue, but they closed it because of COVID, is what they did.
Yeah, but think of your own pool in your own house. How much money that costs you during this,
right?
To maintain that thing. As a matter of fact, this year, guess what? There's a shortage of chemicals. There is. There's a big shortage because the plant blew up someplace. Remember that big fire they had?
Kurt just said, "Oh, the humanity of man hours and cleaning alone."
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can sit back, having a piece of cake and a nice glass of coffee, cup of coffee. I can sit back and I can cross my arms and go, yep. We really need a community center here. I wish we had a community center. That would be wonderful. I could send the kids there.
Yeah.
They could play basketball, maybe go swimming.
Mm-hmm.
I could have my afternoons to myself, like I do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then, boom! The mill rate goes up by 2.
Yeah.
Maybe the kid should stay home. Yeah. I'll get him one of them inflatable pools off of Amazon.
Even those were hard to get.
And then the story changes.
Yeah, I mean it's always nice to wish to have all these things, but you never think of the other things that come along with it. You know, you never think of the utilities, you never think of the cleaning, like you said,
right?
And the maintain. You never think of those things whenever you want something. It's really no different than us when we do something at the house. When you want to do something, you know, how many times did you want to do something in the house? You do it, then you realize, oh shit, I need more money to do this.
Right?
I didn't count on that. You know, it's the way it always is.
You know, don't get me wrong. I love this town. I love this borough. This is where I grew up. This is where I choose to die because I love this place. This is my Mayberry. You know, it really is. It hasn't
No,
changed
so I'm
much.
not laughing at you. I was just.
It's true though.
No, yeah, no, I wasn't. I was just trying
No,
to
I
say,
know.
like, because I know you looked right at me when I laughed. I'm like, I'm not laughing at you.
No,
I laugh.
Oh, I know.
I laugh.
Okay.
I pictured him as Bonnie Fife.
Yeah. Oh, hey. You know, what's the big difference in town? Oh, the Chucky's convenience store. Oh, it used to be a Lehigh. That's about it. The bank put on an addition, and Main Street is still Main Street.
Yeah.
It's not Cliff's Corner. It's not Ed's Corner. It's Dean's Corner. And Charlene's just moved down the block.
Yeah.
That's what happened in this town in 40 years. The Pizza Palace is still there. Zucker Brown's is going only because Jerome died.
Yeah.
But it's the same freaking town.
Yep.
And I love the people. I love the people in Griswold. They're kind. They're courteous. When there's a situation that needs people to come together, they always come together. I mean, I know we raised money for a young man, you know, that needed a heart transplant, a Griswold resident. In 3 hours, we raised $2,000. People just showed up at Petromax and started throwing money down. How do you not love that? But folks, when you're looking at something like this, look at the numbers and look at the facts. Look at your own lifestyle. That's what's going to determine whether or not this is a good value, or a community center is a good value for you, not for your neighbor, not for the guy 2 streets over, because their needs and wants are going to be completely different.
Right.
But if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. I really want somebody to debate me.
Well, doesn't look like you're going to get anybody to debate you.
No,
Nope.
Because I'm only trying to speak from
Well,
factual information. That's it.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is not fueled by what is said in social media, what is said at a meeting, what is said by different political organizations. I'm talking about my own experience.
Yep.
With the Senior Center. And what I see that they're doing, come on, food boxes every Monday now that they're giving out at the Senior Center. They're the ones that did this.
Right.
Tina and Lisa and Joanne.
Yeah.
They're the ones that did this. They're the ones that made the contact with FEMA and I think it's FEMA and the
it was a
farm to
thing.
family. Yeah.
Farm family, yeah.
It's a senior center.
Well, if anything, go out and vote, whether you vote yes or no.
That's it. Vote yes or vote no.
Do what you think is right.
And either way, you vote your conscience.
Yep.
And you vote the way you feel
Right.
is the right way for your town.
Right.
And there is no wrong answer here
Right.
for you. My right answer is the one I have. Yours, Paul, may be completely different. Austin, same thing. The guy down the road, everybody has a life decision that will determine whether or not they vote yes or no. And you are not wrong. And don't let anybody, I'm going to vote yes. But if you're going to vote no, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
Right.
Because your life and situation is completely different. And your value system could be completely different than mine.
Right. Yep.
It's like mask shaming, for Christ's sakes.
Yep.
Vote what you want. And either way, you are correct.
Right.
For you. Angela just said, get out there and vote. And also listen to her from 2 to 6 on SNS. All right, Paul, I think we've stomped a mud hole in this one.
I think we did.
God, between cats and referendums, I need a sandwich. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. This video will remain up, and please continue the more comments will come in now that I'm off. Watch, you'll see. Here comes the hate. But watch it, because I'll be monitoring those too.
The warden's in, boys.
Yeah. All right, tomorrow's time travel Thursday once again, right here on SNSN. Joe will join us and talk to us about what happens in the future. And that's always a fun conversation when Joe joins us. And also, Brian Lanou will be joining us on the phone talking about some of the bills that he has that have left committee and now is going to the House floor. So some good information from Brian Lanou as well. So have a great day, everyone. Paul, thank you very much. Austin, thank you very much, as always. And we will see you once again tomorrow morning right here on SNSN. Have a great day, everyone.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
We are the future. Griswold Parks and Rec is a parent's one-stop source for all things fun. Town events, sports, fitness, and enrichment for all ages. We love our residents. Let us prove it. Go to griswoldrec.org.
Hello, I'm Miranda Mahoney, Project Coordinator of Griswold Pride, your drug-free community coalition. We want to help you keep your kids safe during this challenging time. Social distancing is still in effect, and so is the social host law. Reports are coming in that teens are contracting the virus at underage drinking parties. Parents, allowing underage drinking on your property could land you in jail for up to a year, plus fines. Another reason why you should not provide alcohol to our youth. For more info, go to griswoldpride.org. griswoldpride.org. griswoldpride.org.
Hi, this is Alan Gear. You may know me as Mr. Jewett City. I want to tell you about my experience with our local eye doctor, Dr. Joel Zuckerbrun. I recently had cataract surgery, and I was told that I needed new glasses. I didn't know what to do because the problem was this was right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Where the heck was I going to get glasses? I checked places that make glasses. I looked online, and what I found was my solution was practically in my own backyard. So I called Dr. Z, as most people know him. His office is right on North Main Street, right here in the borough of Jewett City. I went to my appointment and had my glasses faster than I would have thought possible. Call Dr. Zuckerbrun at 376-2848. I trust Dr. Z with my eyesight, and you should too. Make an appointment today.
This is Ray Churchill from the Eastern Connecticut Performing Arts Association, inviting you to join us on Saturday, June 5th for the Eastern Connecticut Jazz Festival at Urechko's Tree Farm in Griswold, Connecticut. 4 professional jazz bands will perform throughout the afternoon. Tickets are available at ecpaa.org. Relax outside and enjoy the best jazz, blues, and funk bands around. This is a rain or shine event. Feel free to bring coolers and baskets. Concessions will also be available. Please no pets. Gates open at 12:30 p.m. The Eastern Connecticut Jazz Festival, June 5th. Get in the swing.
This is your local weather forecast on SNSN. Chance of showers today, then maybe even a thunderstorm by mid-afternoon. And we could even see some patchy fog. Chance of precipitation, 80%.